Today I'm going to show you how I make symmetrical paint blot prints. I do this in elementary, usually with second or third graders. I use it as part of my symmetry lessons, but also I consider it part of my printing curriculum as well, because we're transferring the image from one side to the other. To do this project, you're going to need paper. Construction paper can work, but I don't recommend it because it's too absorbent. I much prefer to use a glossy surface paper, or even if it's not glossy, something like cardstock, which is not quite as absorbent. For this to work, you want your paint to stay on the surface. There are a couple different kinds of paint you can use. Acrylic, finger paint, liquid tempera all work. Watercolor is not going to work for this. It's just not thick enough. It doesn't have the body. It's going to soak in and it won't transfer. You want a thick, full-bodied paint. We're not going to use paint brushes for this. There's a couple different ways you could put on the paint. This is the first year I did it, and I used squeeze bottles. The reason we don't want to use paint brushes is because we don't want them to spread the paint around and make it thin. We want it to go on thick. And the squeeze bottles worked really well, but filling the bottles was time consuming. Since then, I've developed a method of putting the paint into muffin cups and using popsicle sticks to distribute the paint. The reason I like the popsicle sticks is it controls how much paint they're using. With the squeeze bottles, they can really squeeze it on too thick. With a brush, they're going to spread it too thin. But the sticks allow them to scoop out the paint and blot it without spreading it out. It's really difficult to spread it too far with the stick. So what we're looking for is really dollops of paint on the surface of the paper. Here's my setup. I supervise when we do this. We only do one table at a time. So I've got 6 people at a time rotating. The students who aren't at this table are at their own tables and they're working on a symmetry drawing assignment that they can do independently. Then I call them up as soon as a space opens up. I call them one table at a time or the next student to come make their print. And then they put it on their drawing rack and go back to their seat. You can see I have the paint trays positioned so they're partners. One paint tray for every 2 students on either side. I've got an outer folder here, and the paper I actually keep on another table with markers to write their names. They have to fold their paper and write their name at another table before they come to this table because I don't want them taking up space at this table doing their folding and writing. If I call them and they come up to the table and they don't have their paper folded and written on, I send them back to get that ready. And the drawing rack is there right next to the table, so that makes it really convenient. So when they first come in, everybody gets their apron. I demonstrate what we're going to do, and when I call you to the table, you need to get your paper, fold it in half, write your name on it, and then I'm going to direct you to an empty seat. On the table, I have the outer folder, usually newsprint or manila, something oversized. We have their project paper, which is folded in half, and then they're going to take that stick and add blobs of paint. Here you can see my friends at work. You can see the boy closest to us making those lines, but most people are just doing blobs, or you're just not going to get a whole lot of control, and that's what we want because we don't want it to get too thin and dry out. I always monitor and make sure that students are not taking too long. Sometimes students want to very carefully craft the entire picture, and not only does that slow down the whole process, I would really like to rotate every child through at least 3 times during a 50-minute period. And to do that, we have to work rather quickly. Also, if you're being too careful, the paint is going to start to dry and it's not going to transfer well. Also, your paper will stick together after you fold it. So I really try to get everyone moving pretty quickly. Let's get your paint on there, fold it, open it, and put it on the drawing rack. After our paint is on, we're going to fold the inside, and then we're going to put the outside around it. And you can see this is going to protect the table in their hands from the paint squeezing out all over the place. And then when these outer folders get a little too messy, I just toss them and then replace it with another one. Each outer folder usually takes, maybe about 5 prints before we're ready to swap it out for something clean. Then we open up, and there is our symmetrical print. This one went on really thick, and you can see how it's squeezed over the edge there. And onto the drawing rack it goes. If we're working efficiently and everybody's following directions, everybody gets 3 turns, which is important because the first one is usually not that successful. On the second and third times, they've had time to think about where they're going to place their paint, how much they're going to use, what effects they're going for. Here's my bulletin board after the first year. This is the year I used construction paper and I used the squeezy paint. And although the ones I put up on the bulletin board all came out really well, there were a lot that didn't because they sort of stuck and tore. The acrylic was really too heavy bodied for the weight of the paper, and the paper was too absorbent. Also, you can see I did these really large that year. In subsequent years, I used smaller paper, shinier paper, and also a little bit thinner bodied paint. I used tempera instead of the acrylic, and I find that has worked a lot better. And also you can see it is not necessary to supply them with the full color palette. The more colors you give them, the more colors they will use. And some students, even as I'm encouraging them to finish up and fold, are saying, no, I haven't used every color yet. So to be more efficient, you could limit the palette to 3, 4, 5 colors. The students absolutely love this project. And if you have the drawing space, it makes a great summer camp project as well. As I said, this is part of my printing curriculum. If you would like to see the entire printing curriculum, K through 5, you can check out this video. As always, I'm Heidi Howe. I'm posting everything I know before I retire. I look forward to seeing pictures of how this worked out for you and your students, either here on YouTube or over on my Facebook page.